Right now at 5, two men and a woman are in handcuffs after police say they tried to rob a jewelry store at a Sugarland mall. We go on the ground of the daylight heist. Thank you for joining us. I'm Corley Peel. Bill Barajas has the night off. Officers were called to the scene earlier this afternoon at around 1:30. The call came in from First Colony Mall along the Southwest Freeway near Highway 6. From there, two of the robbers led a chase after running away. Our Bill Spencer is at the Sugarland Police Department where those suspects are being held. Bill?
Yes, Corley, confusion, chaos, and a lot of very shaken Saturday afternoon shoppers today at the First Colony Mall in Sugarland when at about 1:30 this afternoon, three smash and grab robbers ran into Daniels jeweler store and began smashing out display cases using just regular everyday hammers. They smashed their way through two glass display cases, stealing watches, necklaces, chains, earrings, that kind of thing, completely cleaning out two different display cases. From there, they ran through the crowds of people who were shopping there at the mall, made their way to the exit door and out into the parking lot. But luckily, Sugarland police were on the scene within a matter of moments and were able to get a very good description of the vehicle these people were traveling in. And they were able to catch all three suspects on the feeder road less than a half a mile away, right in front of Houston Methodist Hospital. The driver of that vehicle was arrested right there at the car. His two accomplices were able to run away, but police chased them down and arrested them as well. So right now, we have three people in custody, two men, one woman, all of them charged with robbery. And I'll tell you what, the people who watched this happen were very impressed with how Sugarland police handled all this.
I'm glad the police got them. I'm glad the police got them. Being from New York, the criminals have the rights. So here in Texas, it's nice to see that what's right has the rights and the police have the rights.
So right now, live in front of the police department, behind me right now, those three suspects are now being processed, photographed, fingerprinted, and of course, questioned by detectives. Again, two of the people arrested are charged with robbery and evading arrest because, of course, they ran from police.
And I'm going to show you guys who these people are and what they look like shortly, because a lot of times in these situations, we still try to be politically correct and we don't want to show you who it is because they say that it's a stereotype, but I'm pretty sure that y'all can guess what this is right now. And make sure y'all tap into the Patreon before we continue with this. Tap into the Patreon, link is in the description. Just dropped the video this week. We got Block Club coming up next week. When I get back in town, right now I'm out in Vegas, so I'm taking care of my business and I'm doing things out here. It's actually a business trip, to be honest with you. And then make sure y'all get y'all tickets. Come kick it with me in Atlanta and then Detroit, November 2nd, December 14th. Put discount code Anton. Come and kick it with your boy. And then for the bag chasers and the Patreon, we're going to have a whole nother conversation, right? But this is a copycat. This is a copycat crime. Because if you've actually been following on any platform, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, you see that this is the play, right? And I'll tell you, 10, 15 years ago, even when people were suffering, you didn't see this. You know why? Because people were actually scared of getting arrested. They were scared of the police. But now we've criminalized the police, the people that protect us, the people that are on the front lines, the first people that you call when you're having a problem. And we've enabled and emboldened criminals, largely starting with the two most liberal cities, Los Angeles, California, and New York, New York. And that's where it started. And then now it's starting to proliferate across other places. This is one of the reasons why Texas says, don't California my Texas, or y'all stay where y'all at, because you got the same people that embolden the Gavin Newsoms and that legislation over there, right? And they basically said, listen, y'all can do what y'all want to do and the police can't touch y'all. And if they touch y'all, you can sue. Whereas over here in Sugarland, right, over in Texas near Houston, you got a completely different situation. Now, Houston is an incredibly liberal city, meaning that it votes blue. but they still in Texas. So you still have a police department, you still have sheriffs that care about their community, and people that live there that largely vote red, and so they got a different mind state. I want to show y'all who these criminals look like. This is what the criminals are. Yep, that's them. That's them. A woman and two men. Let's continue.
Tonight, a trio of suspects is behind bars accused of a smash and grab robbery at a Sugarland jewelry store. It happened this afternoon at the First Colony Mall along Southwest Freeway near Highway 6. Stephen Goen is there with those details. Stephen.
A lot of chaotic moments at this mall earlier today, but tonight there are new concerns about what happened here. Court records are showing us this was just the latest aggravated robbery charge for one of the suspects involved. At Sugarland's First Colony Mall, this was the scene at Daniels Jewelers after that apparent smash and grab robbery just before 2 p.m. Tonight, police identifying these three suspects: Austin Greer, Terzandro, James Baines, and Jada Stewart. The trio allegedly using a window punch to break into multiple glass display cases at the store. We're told they fled the scene in a getaway car. But
Now, if I'm not mistaken, a window punch is the thing that you use well, it's supposed to be used to be able to get out of a trapped car, or even in situations I've seen people demonstrate how to get out of a car if you drown in or you run into a lake or whatever like that, right? And you use the window punch to be able to break out the window really quickly so that you can escape and hopefully you can save your life. Now, if I'm off, somebody correct me inside of the chat. I want to get y'all insight and perspective. But let's continue.
thanks to a witness description of that vehicle, police say they were able to find it close by on the feeder road near Houston Methodist Sugarland Hospital.
And when you think about how bold and brazen this is to do in the middle of an afternoon on a Saturday,
Crazy.
that speaks volumes of the lack of fear.
Tonight, Sugarland police say all three suspects are being charged with aggravated robbery. According to Harris County court records, Austin Greer was previously convicted on aggravated robbery charges in 2008 and sentenced to 6 years in state prison. Other court records show he's currently charged with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon from an incident in 2015.
He was out on multiple bonds in Harris County. He was also out on bond in Fort Bend County for, you guess it, aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon.
Greer forfeiting bond in that case. Andy Kahan with Houston Crime Stoppers calling it a concerning trend.
And the fact that he's been wanted now for over a year just brings up the bigger picture of how many other defendants are wanted for bond forfeiture that are.
Thank God that you got concerned citizens and people that actually want to see their community safe, because the police can't do it alone. It takes a concerted effort from people that care about their community, that don't want criminals to overrun it, to report to the police and participate in their own success. In our communities, most times, because this isn't the first time that he's done this, obviously, we know who the killers are. We know who the dealers are. We know who the stealers are. We know who the jack boys are. We know who got warrants. We know who got killed by who. We know what's happening. But we have this don't snitch as though that applies to regular civilians. We got this don't snitch policy in a culture that ultimately kills and ruins your property values. It's almost like you're paying for criminals to terrorize you in your own communities, in your own neighborhoods. Shout out to the concerned citizens out there in Texas for holding it down and getting these people locked up, including the woman, because I'm starting to see a lot of women participate with men and by themselves, do a lot of crimes, out here robbing, they've been getting dudes set up, but I'm starting to see a lot of women get arrested and they being held accountable for their actions. But we need stricter and tougher laws to hold people accountable, and we got to start making examples out of people, because people don't feel fear being held accountable for their crimes in these communities, and you got to participate in the success of your own community. I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Take another look at the culprits and stop protecting criminals. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.